Hey Garden Fam, welcome back to The Sprout. Today we're talking about one of the most spectacular and rewarding flowers you can grow, the dahlia. With over 40 species and thousands of cultivars, dahlias come in an incredible range of colors, shapes, and sizes. They're the rock stars of the late summer and autumn garden, producing masses of blooms from midsummer right up until the first frost. But here's the thing. Dahlias have a reputation for being a bit high maintenance. They need a little more attention than some other perennials. However, the payoff is absolutely worth it. With the right care, these plants will reward you with armfuls of stunning cut flowers and a garden that will be the envy of the neighborhood. In this video, I'll teach you everything you need to know. The different types of dahlias, how to plant the tubers, how to care for them through the summer, and most importantly, how to store them over winter so you can enjoy them year after year. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We put out new gardening videos every week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Do you grow dahlias? What's your favorite variety? I'd love to hear about it. Now let's get into it. First, let's talk about the different types of dahlias. This is important because they come in so many forms. The dahlia family includes over 40 species and thousands of cultivars, categorized into groups based on flower form. Here are the most common ones you'll encounter. Decorative dahlias have broad, flat petals and are fully double. They're the classic showy dahlias you often see at flower shows. Ball and pompon dahlias have perfectly round, tightly packed petals. Pompons are the smallest, while balls are a bit larger. Cactus dahlias feature spiky, rolled petals that give them a dramatic, almost spiky look. Anemone dahlias have a prominent raised central disc surrounded by a ring of flat petals. Single dahlias have a single row of petals around a central disc, making them a favorite for pollinators. There are also peony-flowered, water lily, orchid, and collarette dahlias. This diversity means there's a dahlia suited to every garden style. Now let's start with planting. Dahlias are grown from tubers. These are thick, fleshy, underground storage organs that look like clusters of elongated sweet potatoes. Unlike bulbs, which are layered, tubers are solid structures that store energy for the plant. The key part of a tuber is the eye, the growing point from which new shoots emerge. Each tuber cluster has multiple individual tubers connected at the base, with eyes where new shoots emerge. The most important rule of planting dahlias is to wait until the soil has warmed up. They are tender plants and cannot survive frost. The best time to plant is after the last spring frost, when the soil temperature has reached at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15 degrees Celsius. In most climates, it's in late spring. Choose a sunny spot with well-draining soil. Dahlias need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily to bloom their best. The soil should be well-draining. Poor drainage will cause the tubers to rot. If you have heavy clay soil, consider planting in raised beds or large containers. When you're ready to plant, dig a hole about 4 to 6 inches deep. Place the tuber horizontally in the hole with the eye facing upwards. Cover the tuber with soil, but do not water it immediately. Wait until growth appears before watering, as too much moisture early on can cause rotting. For taller varieties, insert a stake next to the tuber at planting time to provide support as the plant grows. Space tubers about 18 to 24 inches apart. For a more dramatic display, you can plant them in groups. Now let's talk about watering. This is a balance. Dahlias need consistent moisture, but they hate wet feet. When the shoots are young, water sparingly. Once the plants are established and growing, water them deeply at least once a week. In very hot weather, you may need to water more frequently. Always water at the base of the plant to avoid wetting the leaves, which can lead to fungal diseases. A layer of mulch around the plants will help retain moisture and keep the roots cool. Now let's talk about fertilizing. Dahlias are hungry plants. A light feeding at planting time with a balanced fertilizer gives them a good start. Once they start blooming, switch to a low nitrogen, high-phosphorus fertilizer. This encourages more flowers. Feed them every 3 to 4 weeks during the growing season, but stop feeding about 6 weeks before your first expected frost to help the tubers mature for winter storage. A tip from the experts: use a higher nitrogen feed while plants are in leafy growth, then switch to a high potassium feed once they are in bud and flower. Now let's talk about pruning and deadheading. This is the secret to a long blooming season. Deadheading is simple. Remove the spent flowers regularly by cutting back to the next leaf or bud. This encourages the plant to produce more blooms. You can also pinch the growing tips when plants reach about 12 inches tall. This promotes bushier growth and prevents the plants from falling over in storms. If you keep cutting flowers for indoor use, your plants will keep producing more until the first frosts. Now let's talk about common problems. Let's go through them one by one. Problem 1, no flowers. This can be caused by too much shade, overwatering, or too much nitrogen fertilizer. Move the plant to a sunnier spot, check your watering, and switch to a high-phosphorus feed. Problem 2, powdery mildew. A white, powdery coating on the leaves. This is common in humid conditions with poor air circulation. Space plants properly and water at the base. You can treat it with neem oil or a baking soda spray. Problem 4, aphids. These small insects cluster on new growth and buds. Spray them off with a strong jet of water or use insecticidal soap. Problem 5, tuber rot. This is caused by poor drainage or overwatering. Make sure your soil drains well and don't water too early. Problem 6, stunted growth. This is often due to poor soil, insufficient light, or overcrowding. Improve the growing conditions.
Here's where you come in. Drop a comment below. Do you grow dahlias? What's your favorite variety? I'd love to know. Now, let's talk about overwintering. This is the most important part of dahlia care if you live in a cold climate. Dahlias are tender. They cannot survive freezing temperatures. In most regions, you need to dig up the tubers and store them for the winter. Wait until the foliage has been blackened by a hard frost. This allows the plant's energy to move back into the tubers. Cut the stems back to about 4 to 6 inches. Carefully dig up the tubers, being careful not to damage them. Wash off the soil and let them dry in a cool, airy place for a few days. Once dry, pack them in a box or crate filled with dry sawdust, peat moss, or wood shavings. Store them in a cool, dark, frost-free place with temperatures between 40 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Check them periodically over winter for signs of rot or shriveling. If you live in a zone where the ground doesn't freeze, you can leave the tubers in the ground. Apply a thick layer of mulch, about 6 inches deep, to protect them from cold. Now, let's talk about propagation. The best way to create new dahlia plants is by dividing tubers in late winter or early spring. Carefully separate the tuber clump, making sure each division has at least one eye. You can also take 4 to 6 inch stem cuttings in late spring and root them in potting mix. Dahlias are also easy to grow from seed, but they won't come true to the parent plant. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. Are dahlias perennials or annuals? They are tender perennials, so they come back each year if you protect them over winter. How tall do they get? They range from 30 centimeters to over 1.5 meters tall, depending on the variety. When do they bloom? From midsummer to the first frost. Do they need full sun? Yes, at least 6 to 8 hours daily. Let's wrap everything up. Dahlias are some of the most spectacular and rewarding flowers you can grow. Plant them in full sun in well-draining soil. Water them consistently. Feed them regularly. Deadhead for continuous blooms. And remember to dig up and store the tubers in winter if you live in a cold climate. Here's the most important thing to remember. Dahlias are not just flowers, they're an experience. They bring color, form, and life to the garden when everything else is starting to fade. They're the plants that make you look like a gardening expert. Give them the care they deserve, and they'll reward you with an unforgettable display. Before you go,
hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Are you going to grow dahlias this year? What's your favorite variety? I'd love to know. Also, what plant should I cover next? Gladiolus, Crocus mia, something else? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care of your garden, and it will take care of you. See you in the next video.